Welcome, everybody, back to Final Fantasy Randomizer for our second consecutive match. Tonight we have a matchup between LordoftheSynth and PlebusMaximus. Both of us need this to win to potentially get into the play-in race competition. I am Aaron to you two, and with me on comms once again is Devious RNG.
What's up?
Hey, not too much. Looking at the parties, we have the Blurses all up and ready for you. We do have a divergence already with PlebusMaximus taking a Fighter, Thief, Red Mage, Black Mage, with LordoftheSynth taking Fighter, Red Mage, White Mage, Black Mage. Is there anything in here specifically that you're thinking might cause a bit of a variation?
I mean, I'm kind of surprised. As we looked at the beginning of the party, I was like, oh, this is a black belt seed. And I don't see any black belts. The things that stand out to me is that white mage can't wear any Cheerios. They can't wear like silver bracelets or gold bracelets or anything. So they basically are defenseless until they promote. And that thief has minus 15 agility. And part of the benefit of the thief is running, but you can't run if you die. And you can't live if you can't dodge. So this should be an interesting run.
Yes, and I don't know if the position of the party when you pick the characters matters to people. Usually I pick them in the order I want to keep them in. But the fact that he has the Thief second makes me think that he's more concerned about the ability to run necessarily than the ability to get those nice, what do you call them, preemptives and so on in battle.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, the other thing is the blurse on that red mage is all health. It's plus HP and plus vitality. So one of the downsides of red mages is like, what's the phrase? They can do just about everything, but they're not great at any one thing. So getting the extra vitality just makes them more likely to survive. It's a nice little buff.
And as pointed out in chat, the white mage does have an extra 40 agility, so there's some good potential there. However, it looks like we got some Fire 3. That's a good spell. I didn't exactly remember what was in the white magic, but it didn't seem terribly good.
Yeah, just heal 2 harm. Not anything fantastic, but it's something. Though I think based on what we saw in that endgame Topher, so for those of you just turning in, PlebusMaximus just finished about an hour and a half long race 15 minutes ago against Goat's Pirate. So this is 2 in a row for Pleb, and LordoftheSynth is coming off fresh, looking to take his 1 and 2.
And if you don't want to know what happened in the previous race, do not look at the players' records. That would probably be my biggest advice to you, but it's probably unavoidable at this point.
I think not just because you and I were the ones calming it, but last race was a fantastic race. I mean, you don't really get an opportunity to watch 2 runners make essentially the exact same decisions over and over again. But that's exactly what happened for the entire hour and a half run. And I would say that we had dual chaoses, but we kind of had dual Krakens, dual Tias, and dual chaoses. So it was a pretty hefty run. Highly recommend.
It was a heck of an ending, and Plebus already lost the Thief. The Thief is already gone. Didn't even make it through here, but he's leaving, healing up, and coming back in. He wants to go at Garland at full strength.
Yeah, it was nice to pick up that all that extra money too in that bottom left chest of Toph, especially going into what's it called?
Provoca?
Yeah, that place.
Yeah, you usually want to have a little over 4,000 gold when you get there. It's possible with that extra money we might see a pass on Matoya's cave, but King has TNT and the Princess has Oxyale, so there's a consideration to possibly go west, but I think that the standard play is normally just to go straight to Provoca.
Yeah, Yeah. You know what's interesting though? I like this pickup of the silver +4s, by the way. We encounter table. One of the big things of the last run was the encounter table was pretty awful. I think it had like 6 encounters that you had to burn before you had a decent run, and then you had another 6. I don't feel like we've seen really that many encounters yet so far.
Yeah, we'll get our first real walk here in just a moment. Both players spending a large portion of the cash, so they're not worried about what they're going to get from Provoca. So again, we'll probably see a Matoya's check here, just because there are those 3 free chests, and it almost always seems like there's some sort of money there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things I feel like something I always have to look out for when I'm in the Canaria shops. I have a tendency to essentially say, I'm going to leave Canaria with 0 money, and I'll probably pick up stuff on the way. So it makes sense to me that they would spend a lot of that cash, especially since Provoca doesn't really have expensive stuff. So I think one of the benefits of Pleb is he's got that extra cash, whereas Synth probably feels the need to keep some of this stuff around.
Yeah, and we did see Plebus just, I almost said up and aid. He reset it out of that one straight out. I've been playing too much Zelda 2 recently.
You can up an A in this game, I think. I think it's a soft reset, maybe? I don't remember.
Well, that is good to know, but as somebody who plays on the keyboard, it doesn't really affect me.
I mean, you could hit up and A as many times as you want on a keyboard. Doesn't really mean much. But this level 2 magic's actually really nice. That white mage magic was, I think I saw like life 2, maybe exit in a Viz 2, I think. Exit life 2 and Viz 2 and cure 2. That's like pretty much everything that you would want.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really want to see, if you're thinking about needing Invis 2 later, you don't really want to see it at the same level as, all of that stuff. But the fact that Exit isn't a spell you're going to cast really at the final end, so that one doesn't matter so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ironically, this is actually looking like a really good red mage fight on... red mage party, with just having like the lit 3 early, the fire 3 early, and life 2. Those were all really nice pickups.
Absolutely. A lot of good stuff that you'll be using probably throughout the game. Hopefully don't need life 2 too much, but again, we see on Plebus's screen that Thief is staying dead. I think he's just going to let the body rot for a while.
Rich Bork and Woat talking in chat that up and A and up and B on controller 2 are soft and hard resets. I knew about it's funny. I remember trying to program or get all of this, when I first started streaming and playing, getting hard and soft resets to work on my Mac, and not figuring it out because up and A did the one I didn't want it to do, but never in my life did I think of up and B might be a good idea. So that's, wow. I've learned something today.
Yeah, if I had known about that, I might never have switched over to just doing keyboard. It seemed like it was just a gigantic problem without going into really fancy controller edits, but that's fine. It's nice to do something different anyway. And I have no problem with the little click-clacking.
Mm-hmm. The click-clacking. Yeah, there's that big keyboard versus controller discussion. Some very good runners run on each of them, so
right.
Their own.
Yeah, it's a big divergence, and I imagine in the end it doesn't really change too much. But there we go, a floater right off the bat. You definitely want to see that. We do not have a canoe yet, though, so we're not quite in the air yet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, all we really have is Marsh Cave that's left to us. We don't have a boat, so I mean, I think logically it must be canoe or something that leads to canoe, because if we got a boat or the canal, that doesn't open up any other checks. So the canoe has to be in Marsh Cave, unless there's a shop item.
Yes, good point. If there is something to buy in the shop that will completely change that formula. I haven't seen anything yet. Plebus is meeting his old friend from the last seed, the Ogres and Grovers. They were wonderful. He's taking them down, no problem. I think he's going straight to Swamp, skipping Elfland. Going to do this dive right off the bat. We do have exit, so he should be able to get out without, probably will just beeline right to the chest. When you see early floater like that, you don't really want to check a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the last seed, the pleb was up in the air around 45, 50 minutes. So having the potential to get up in the air at 13 minutes is pretty and a ribbon in box number 1. So we went from about a 90-something minute seed to something that's getting pretty jetty pretty fast.
And that one's that's an interesting chest too, because that's one that a lot of people might skip. So the people get really aggressive in Swamp, probably Marsh Cave will skip that one. And so if Synth does, that's a little bit of a penalty to him.
Mm-hmm. Rube's pointing out. Never mind. Sorry, I was theorizing all of the different things, and him also pointing out about the vendor item.
It looks like Chad is really hoping for something terrible to come out of that. I missed what the white magic was, but it wasn't anything he seemed to be interested in. Level 4 black magic has zap, and that's about it. I don't know. Does Lock do a whole lot more than Lock 2? Are you going to be able to cast Dark on Chaos?
I think it's single target versus all targets. So that's it does the same thing, just limited party with an extra button click. Crystal. So hey, let's think about worst case scenarios here. Hypothetically, you could have the crystal lead to the key, which leads to the canoe in Toflocked. So if you're rolling your dice looking for your or maybe key leads to Crown, which is in Toflocked, which gives you adamant or something crazy like that. But we'll find out whether or not Matoya has something fun, or if we're gonna get trolled. We're gonna get trolled on this one.
We do seem to have a pretty good RNG walk here. I think he took a fight, so I think it's really after the first encounter, which isn't... The first walk's pretty good, but I think the second one's better. Lord of the Synth going the upward direction in Marsh, which is something we don't see a whole lot. I don't know if he's thinking loose or if he's looking for just some more gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we don't see that a lot in this particular flag set. You've got the exit, so there's the chance that going up here is going to give you that little bit of an edge. There's always time for the risk. There's always time to say, hey, look, I need a Hail Mary, or I need a wild card, and I'm gonna make this my choice. So hey, we'll see if it pays off.
There we go. The witch was hiding the canoe, so we now have access directly to the floater. We'll see if he goes directly that way. Probably stops over in... I mean, it's right on the way, so we might see him stop at Crescent Lake and check that before he goes all the way, or he might just rush the entire path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember coming up through the Duckling program, and as I was learning a lot of the things in this game, having that discussion about when you get the floater, like what are the permissible actions in between getting the floater and turning the floater in? And one of the kind of the points of discussion, an Aegis Shield and Ribbon number 2. Okay. So Lord of the Synth getting some payoff from that choice. But yeah, when it comes to, what's the what are you allowed to do between getting the floater and turning it in? The answer is essentially nothing, because since the floater travels at a higher rate of speed per tile, thanks, Guardian Marcus. Since the floater runs at a higher rate of speed, then it's always faster to get the floater first, because every single step that you take on the overworld is slower without the floater.
All right. Well, good to know. It looks like, Lord of the Synth did get that ribbon, as it was mentioned in chat. That was a linked chest. That's something I did not know existed until I started playing the randomizer. And it looks like Plebus is getting there. It's taken a bit of an effort. He's going to stop in the town first. The encounter table isn't great, and I think he's trying to get. I mean, it's not bad. Is what I meant to say. It's not great, like it's negative, but it's not bad. But he's trying to force the second walk, but he doesn't want to just burn off the first one because it's quite a walk. And yeah, we're going to load up on those tents. Although now with the incoming ship, I don't know how many of them he's going to need.
Yeah, Lord of the Synth getting to his marsh check, so he'll be pulling that crystal out momentarily. Didn't see what came out of the Circle of Sages.
I didn't see him go there. I think he just left.
Interesting play.
And that feels like maybe he forgot sort of territory, but I think he just went in, checked the item shop, and bought a bunch of stuff, went to the inn, and was done.
Yeah. This is we keep bringing up the fact that this is the second of a double header, but one of the things that Pleb is going to be running into is seed bleed. He might have thought he already checked it because he just checked it in the previous game. So we'll see if that ends up being an issue, or if he's already thinking, or if he remembers that he didn't check that.
No, I imagine he'll figure it out before too long. It's he didn't check anything, so he's probably got that in mind that he wanted to come back. That was probably the overarching thing, was he's trying to save time by not checking the magic shops because he doesn't have level 6, and he did go with the red mage, so he's going to have a little less white magic anyway. So that was probably the thought process, I think.
I mean, we'll see soon enough once Lord of the Synth gets his canoe and heads over to Crescent Lake himself. But Pleb doing the smart check, heading over to Cardia, picking up a dozen or so checks here. I mean, yeah, you could get the defense sword, which casts fire too, but you also get money, which at this point in the game is super important anyway.
Right, and that might have been why Lord of the Synth went north in the Marsh Cave, was just to grab some extra chests for money, because he wasn't able to get everything he wanted out of Elfland, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so far, I think Pleb found that Fire 2 sword. Not really much else of note here in Cardia. Yeah, that's a reset right there. And skipping Grassy.
Yeah, he seems to be playing extraordinarily aggressive right now. Like, just not, skipping a couple of things here and there. He was taking a few fights in the overworld, but I think it was just entirely because of the way that the encounter map worked. Where, again, running from the Gurpids, I seem to think they're fairly good too, but it doesn't seem like he wants that. And he is looking for something in particular that seems to be kind of holding him up.
Yeah, I mean, he's making some interesting plays. He's not making the same kinds of plays that he was making in the previous race.
And yes, as Rubes points out in chat, I think by process of elimination, the item spot has to be in Gaia. So at this point, I mean, the options, he is grinding, or is he looking for chests here? And see, this is actually a pretty aggressive check again, because he's still fairly low level, but he does have that lit 3, which is making short work of these enemies.
Yeah, he's is he going full right? No, he's doing the checks to crack him. You know, sometimes you'll see people do this. They check that first right chest and then dive full left, and it looks like that's the route he's taking. But this is a ballsy play at 18 minutes and level. I think he was level 8 when he dove, and now he's level 10.
Yeah, this is maybe it's my inexperience, but this is difficult for me to see as a serious dive. And yeah, I don't think it is. If he's going right, that means he's just looking for stuff.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he went right and then went, oh right, there's this other one. Oh god, with Sahags with thunder.
Well, at least there was only one of them in this fight.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that black mage was just about to run out of magic anyway. So he's actually at a point where I don't think he can take too many more fights, just because the lit charges are basically gone.
Oh, he's making the choice. Okay. Deciding to throw the exit instead of the life 2. I was wondering if he had caught it. Oh, going with 3-man strats this time. He doesn't look very happy with his decision to go 3-man strats.
And it is a bit weird. The thief didn't have a whole lot going for it because of the agility penalty. It still starts out with, even with the minus 15 that it had, that's still 65 agility, which is quite a lot. But it's like, I think a lot of people are taking the thief somewhat begrudgingly because of all the boosts. So like, well, I feel like I have to take one. And so if it has any sort of reasonable penalty, they're like, nope.
Yeah, I'm still a little shocked on the black belt not being used today. I like the fact that we're seeing a lot of fighters in this flag set. I'm a big fan of the fighter mage parties. They just end up being a lot more. They require a lot more thought and effort and strategy, as opposed to paunch. But especially with this particular seed, you're not really gaining anything with that thief, and I guess the only other option would be, I like the rainbow choice, but we'll see.
All right, Return of the Brackstaff. He's got another one of those. And just, yeah, echoing the black belt one, this one, I don't know, the fighter with the extra 15 magic defense eats into some of the advantage that you would normally get out of the black belt, but the black belt doesn't really have a malice because its strength doesn't matter. So it just seems like it's all good. And, you know, extra luck, they aren't really the best high luck and unit anyway, but it's still nice to see.
So we have a Vorpal and an X-Cal here in Mermaids. And Lord of the Synth finding out that the Sages had the ship.
Yeah, I believe chat called that one, so congratulations to whoever in chat said it would be the ship or the canal.
Yeah, I mean, Woke brings up a good point. Black belts absolutely require skill and game knowledge. Like, 100% agree with you there. The interesting thing is that it's different skill and game knowledge. Like, there's a lot of strategies in this game that overlap, but there were also some that are mutually exclusive. And some of the strategies that you use, like we saw that in the last race, Pleb was doing the Agama grind with a full party. And it's one of those like, okay, the Agama grind is fantastic for a solo party, but not a full party. And Rue's pointing out them Gasties. Wow, was that 2 in a row or 3 in a row that he's getting? But that was like 200, 300 HP.
Yeah, it might be an area to just grind there. Just walk around Waterfall if that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, I refer to this as the Dead Pulse grind because he's the one that talked to me or showed me this particular strat. Ooh. I think we just saw fear and memory coming through Pleb's face as last seed had mummies with thunder, which was not a good thing to run into for either of our runners.
Yeah, Thunder Mummies kind of sounds like a female biker gang.
Yeah, I could see that. Ooh, that's a game changer right there.
You know, I think he's happy to have it, but maybe he didn't want to see it because the X-Cal was a little bit hidden. Might not have been something that Lord of the Synth checked, but he's absolutely going to check that chest. Mm-hmm. So we will both have mass moons here before the end.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And yay massa. That kind of throws everything in a different world. The Lord of the Synth here checking Grassy Cardia, which we didn't see out of Pleb. Invis 2 -3 shirt. That's really big. That's really big. Not only for the fact that it's Invis 2, but also because that if it actually is the white shirt, I didn't see on the notes, but that would actually give the white mage some armor it could wear.
Yeah, be definitely useful now. Lord of the Synth does clear out those Cardia chests, and it looks like he's going a different direction. Plebus is going back to Sarda and getting the chime that Lord of the Synth already has. Now that he's cleared out Waterfall and got that herb, Plebus definitely seems like he has a bit of a lead at this point. Just having he's trying to land on Melmond. I mean, I get the sentiment, but.
Well, I mean, I did hear from Ale that the Ale's annual Aeronautics Academy is open and accepting new applicants. Scholarships are available, and you can ping Ale if you're looking for a scholarship. But Ale's Aeronautics Academy highly recommend how to land your airship in the most unique places in the entire map. So. Keep an eye open.
Again, chat pointing out, level 5 has all of our fun spells, Fade and Nuke, and there was at least one other thing there that was really good, so I guess we can't knock Melmond too much today, that they had the actual spells. Sleepy Elf Prince hiding the loot, so Waterfall is required, which again almost certainly means that Lord of the Synth will get that fairly decent mass moon, but he's going to Ordeals first. Maybe. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, with where we are with Magic, we don't have our low-level nuke, but having Fire 3, Fire 3 and Lit 3, it's kind of all you need, especially in Ordeals where there's a lot of undead. I like this play by Synth. He knows that he doesn't have the levels to take out Kraken, and there's a lot of items left to go, so we'll see what he pulls out of here.
So, Plebus getting the exciting news of the ship. I was going to ask if Lord of the Synth managed to get the warp spell, but I don't think he has the cast for it now anyway, so it's irrelevant.
Yeah, going to Ordeals without warp always feels bad, but sometimes ordeals can be nice to you, and it's only 2 rooms, or you never actually get to the 4-pillar room, or the 4-pillar room just sends you back 1 instead of to the beginning. So ordeals is a cruel mistress. You never know what to expect from her.
Yeah, it's a heck of an advertisement when you say sometimes it's not bad.
But most of the time, it's awful, unless you have warp.
So it looks like Plebus is again looking for loose items here. Maybe he's hoping to get some experience from fighting things. Not really happy with that Ice 3 cast. Apparently Mucks don't like ice too much. They just kind of ignore it. But the lightning, yeah, that one hurts a bit.
Lord of the Synth getting the bad news that it's absolutely Pillar 4 today.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be that, 25% of the time, so it just so happens today is 25% day.
Well, and again, like he's gotten a lot of zombie Ds here in his Ordeals dive, which one of the things I like about Ordeals is it usually has some low level, like weak to fire enemies. So, and he just hit level 10. So getting that level 1 fire 3, this is really... Oh, he does have ice 3 and lit 3. So yeah, I like this play by Synth. It's not a lot of people are going to go to Ordeals as early as this, so this could end up being a nice break for him.
Meanwhile, I think Plebus might be doing, I don't know, is this a serious attempt at carry? Is he just going to hit more chests? He seems very interested in trying to find that loose item. And at least that's what it would seem, considering the areas he's been. So maybe that is the consideration there. Maybe he goes, just grabs all the items and warps out, or maybe he tries to take on carry. I mean, if he doesn't find anything useful, you might as well try, I suppose, as long as you haven't burned all your spells.
Well, I mean, the thing with carry is carry has a lot of MDef, so the lit 3, ice 3 stuff isn't going to help you. But you have a Massa +3, and anytime you're holding a Massa +3, you're probably going to kill carry.
Yeah, it feels like good odds. Just looking at Plebus's reaction at finding a wood staff, it's like, why do these exist?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Plebus has opened a lot of boxes, and he gets rewarded with a ruby, which last seed was hard required because the ruby blocked off Sarda, and there was a loose in Titan's Trove. In this seed, much less important as the actual item, and its value is more the fact that we have one of our 2 loose. And Pleb skipping the top right room.
Yeah, the ones that I always forget about. But maybe this means he's going after carry. Again, if you're going to just check everything, you probably would do that. You don't normally come in here and just miss a few things. Might be looking for an interesting grind tile too, but I don't think he's quite in that territory yet. He's pretty good on levels.
Yeah. Lord of the Synth having a hard time here with these metal slimes. Really needs to cast Fire 3, but casting Lit 3 instead. I don't know if he should have Fire 3 charges, but either way, he got out of it. He's alive and starting to check some of these boxes here. Pro Keep +2 is nice.
Yeah, and it's just something to help the mages out a little bit. Mm-hmm. We see Plebus going directly to carry, though. We're going to see this fight here in just a moment, healing up, getting everybody nice and comfortable and ready for what will hopefully not be a very long fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, taking the risk to leave that fighter up front, but with some nuke charges at 5, probably going to be fine. Yeah, 300, that's 600 damage. Carry only has 600 in vanilla. Oof. And Lord of the Synth finding the other shirt, which we were informed that the Invis 2 shirt was the black shirt, so that is in fact the white shirt. So Lord of the Synth, as long as he finds that tail, is in really, really good shape now.
Right, that does tell us that Ordeals is optional. We also, at this point, as far as we know, the ruby is optional, so Lord of the Synth doesn't go hunting for loose stuff. He might be in better shape. Yeah, that kind of seems the setup as we have it right now. But we still have to say Plebus is a bit in the lead with just extra stuff that he's found.
Yeah.
Probably one whole dungeon ahead at this point.
Yeah, you can see there's a bit of a execution advantage that Pleb's been showing. Lord of Synth doing some couple different routing decisions. Pleb's also been deciding to open or not open kind of random chests that hasn't really bit him yet, but we'll see if that story changes.
Well, now he is going to Ordeals, which, again, this would be a potential time save if he decided to not worry about getting promoted and not go this whole way at all. He did get the Adamant from the item shop in Gaia. With a free turn-in that wouldn't take you very long to do, choosing to go through a dungeon that is sometimes optional is a bit of an interesting decision, but a lot of times you approach these things just assuming you're going to have to 100% them.
Yeah, I think we talked about that a little bit in the last run, that win condition, by the way, is the phrase I was looking for. Jat2980 reminding me often as we keep talking about this game, that win condition is what do I need with my party in order to know that I'm ready to dive Topher? And for this party, for these parties, the win condition is pretty much everything. So yeah, I agree that this is a good call.
With the promoted class, picks up, looks like he's going to go shopping for some magic for the fighter, or which is now a knight, excuse me. So I don't know that, I'm not exactly sure what we had. Can't land there, sir, sorry. But I think, I'm trying to think. Now, Fate was level 5. What else did we have? Was there a... Well, no, the harm spell isn't going to be useful either. You know what? Let's just see.
I mean, really, it's just like to pick up on that. And I want to say there was a cure somewhere. Oh, heal 2 at level 1. That's good. And to call out Boogity Boo in chat, yes, this is Plebus's second race of the day. And the first race ended about a half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago. So this is a very quick back-to-back for Plebus, wanting to close up Pod Kaizoku here, prepping for the spring tournament. This is the last race of the Kaizoku pod. Lord of the Synth and PlebusMaximus both 0-2. Looking for their first win here, hoping to get into our play-in race in last chance qualifier for spring tournament 2022.
Correct, and the current logic is that anyone with 2 wins, 2-1 or 3-0 will automatically qualify. That isn't guaranteed because there's a scenario where something else could happen, but it's too complicated to really get into. However, the win here would give the winner gets basically 2 shots to get into the last couple of spots in the tournament, where 1 and 2 will give you the play-in race, whereas basically after the play-in race, whatever spots are left, anyone who yet has to qualify can do it. So we see Plebus getting the tail out of, it looked like he got through that a whole lot faster, probably thanks to all those warp casts.
Yeah, or if you're like me, you just forget what pillar order you're in and just keep warping around until somehow you wind up at the staircase.
Maybe if you cast warp enough, like the whole thing warps around backwards and you end up just going directly to the end.
what a glitch. If you cast Warp 5 times and then cast Exit, it'll automatically put you at the chair. That would be quite the thing.
Yes, but would that get patched out through the randomizer?
Is it a bug or a feature? the wonderful questions we like to ask. So far, all of our warp shenanigans have been features, so I wouldn't see that going anywhere anytime soon.
Lord of the Synth not warping back up. Looks like he's going to try to clear some of these chests. Maybe he's looking for a good grind tile. That is not it. Nightmares are pretty well known for being obnoxious and annoying.
Yeah, nightmares are rather nightmarish, to be sure.
They are weak to ice, so they got the ice 3. It's not the worst thing to throw out there, but they also have a base evade extremely high, which you don't want to see.
Right. Yeah, we there was one seed in this tournament. I can't remember who it was against, but we had unrunnable nightmares with really bad black magic, and the nightmares rolled plus on their evade. There were no lock spells, so it was it was kind of a worst case scenario for the required waterfall that we had, but not this time. This time those nightmares weren't the worst that they've ever rolled.
So Plebus is going back in. Looks like he's going to probably check some of the chests along the way. We'll see if he checks all of them. He still is missing one loose item. And looking at what he has left and what we have to find, that loose item is almost certainly going to be required, because we have something behind the rod, and we have something that is in Sky, and then we have the one loose and Ice Cave, which I guess we'll see here on Lord of the Synth side here in just a little bit. Oh, did he pick up fast? That's a pretty good one. I mean, it's better if it's at a low level, but you'll probably have a couple level 7 charges, and when you really want that is right at the end. So, Synth clearing out the bottom floor of ice here, getting the 6 chests. I didn't see anything notable.
Well, he did pull out the Cure 2 bonk. I believe that's replacing the Zeus Gauntlet, and I think the chat was talking about it in one of the previous races, that the Cure 2 items here kind of get overlooked, but they are incredibly powerful in this seed, or in this flag set, because the buff cure spells has been turned on for the tournament, so that Cure 2 is actually going to cure quite a hefty amount of damage, and especially in a seed like this, like if we kind of what we ran into last seed with a pleb getting down to a single light warrior heading into chaos, those Cure 2 can mean the difference between life and death in Deep Topher.
All right, and Lord of the Synth finding at the end of the Ice Cave is the bottle. Now, it's not guaranteed to actually lead to anything, however, so we don't know if that is a key find or not, or if ice is required. Now, of course, if the fairy has the key, or it's pretty much the key or the rod, then we know what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we still have a loose canal out there somewhere, and again, the way that the new logic has been written, the canal can actually wind up outside of the inner sea in a case like this. In previous logic, the canal and the ship had to be in the inner sea. So we'll a gold -2. So we'll see if that bottle ends up being something required.
Interesting observation from Chadbert here in chat, that it didn't look like Lord of the Synth saved after he left Ice Cave. That's something to consider, especially as we see yet another ogre type enemy having crack. That's wonderful. And again, that's a reference to our callback to the last seed. Apologies. I think it's the first time we've seen it here. And he's in a little bit of danger. So a couple of people stunned using frost. So it's starting to get... Nope, he got away. Good. So I was like, starting to get into the oh no stage, but...
Then we have our Thor hammer pickup, which appropriately Castlet 2. And as I think Sonny jumped in earlier, said, is this even randomized? The Thor hammer throwing out Lit 2? Come on now.
Oh yeah, I guess he does have a ninja now. I forgot. I was like, wait, don't you mean the thief? I'm like, oh wait, yeah, he got promoted. He's no longer dead. But the lobsters, hooray, Bane. That is not what you want to see, but he does have the ribbon on the red mage there, which I think is going to help him get through this.
Yeah, and now you get the question of when do you res your party members with knowing that you've got lobsters with Lit 2, and he is completely out of Life 2 casts now. That is that's gonna lead to a pretty clenchy last little walk here in Sea Shrine.
Well, he did revive the right one. If he had hit the Black Mage first, I don't know that would have been a solid fight for Kraken, but that Mass Moon on the night, as long as he's able to keep it alive, will probably take him down.
Please move your party members. Please, split so that he stays... There you go. Okay, cool. Yeah. And hopefully he has a fast cast. No, just nuke. Oof. And Kraken doing what Kraken does and back rowing that knight.
Unfortunately, we've not seen a Roost Staff or anything along those lines yet. And Kraken is hitting very hard. He's got maybe one more. Oh, he got it. Good deal.
Yeah. That's that's what a low-level Kraken fight looks like. Very well played. I think moving the Red Wizard, using that Cure 4 cast. Fortunately, the Cure 4 got out early. Could have gone with Cure 4 or Nuke. I think it would have been, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, but it definitely worked out for him. And that's 2 orbs lit for Pleb with just the Sky Palace to go.
I imagine Synth is feeling really good about finding that ruby right about now. Again, both of our players doing a very thorough dive of Gurgu Volcano, and it's unfortunately not a whole lot to say for it.
Well, though, Pleb did skip this upper right room here, so we haven't seen from Synth. Well, Synth also hasn't gone to Waterfall to pick up his Massa yet, and the herb, which I believe leads to the loot.
Yes, the Waterfall will be required. I think the only thing we've seen that is theoretically optional was the ordeals, which what did the ordeals have again? Let me check. The tail. Yeah.
The tail. Oh, and the Harm 3 shirt for the White Mage.
Yeah, which I guess is good on Synth's side, since they can't equip any rings, so that's really their only source of defense. The extra 40 agility they got to start probably isn't going to be enough to dodge a whole lot of hits at the end of the game.
Though, you know what's funny? I'm just kind of looking through the blursings again. The thing that Lord of the Synth found in that upper right box was a Katana +3, which absolutely would have been a great pickup for Plebus to pick up, considering he had a ninja, though as Classic's pointing out, Plebus hasn't really done anything with that ninja. Though the Black Mage can wield a katana and has +20 strength. So, as odd as it sounds, that Black Mage could actually do a little bit of melee damage, just if you end up in that situation and you're low on casts. So, and the white mage can wield the X-Cal. So,
right. Which I think is that only Plebus has the X-Cal so far.
yeah,
Lord of the Synth find that too.
and Synth has the katana.
That's right, because the X-Cal was on the east side of the water shrine. So, yeah, there's no way that Lord of the Synth will probably find that.
Yeah. Well, X-Cal and Vorpal were over there, which, again, it's like if you had the katana +3, the katana +3 absolutely beats that Vorpal -1. The X-Cal -1, again, it's a great backup for what we call white samurai strats, where you throw a massa or you throw it was before Blursings, so you throw a massa on the white mage and have her cast Ruse against Chaos, and you can actually have a white mage solo Chaos. So, we'll always an interesting strategy.
All right, so that bottle, or excuse me, that wasn't the bottle. It was the slab led to the crown, which leads us to Astos, and I forgot what we saw there. Was it the key?
Yeah, it was the key.
So at this point, he's looking for the rod, which could be at the end of the bottle. We haven't seen Lord of the Synth check that yet, I don't think.
Yeah, well, we have, there's also Sky Palace, and there's the rod still missing, and we have a loose. So, we have the potential for Sky Palace to have the rod, which is what Pleb is absolutely hoping for. So if Pleb is able to pull the rod out of this, then he's in go mode. If he pulls the saber bonk out of this, then we have a loose rod somewhere on this in this game. Please save Lord of the Synth. Please.
I'm sorry, I had to wait. I was totally not laughing at that moment. But yeah, we need to. Okay, here we go. We're in a town. Probably going to visit the inn. It's usually quicker to go to the inn than it is to walk out of Provoca anyway. So, unless he throws out an exit, in which case we're all going to continue to grind our teeth a little bit. And dragon armor pick up in Mirage Tower. That's nice. The Harm 2 sword, not going to be used, I don't think, because I think we got better for everything else. And I think that replaces the Bane sword, if I remember right.
Yeah, it depends on whether or not you see the sword icon. If you see the sword icon, it's the Bane sword. If you don't, it's the defense sword. So I didn't see which one it had, but that's how it plays.
But maybe the bigger story here is that Plebus is still checking chests.
Yeah.
There's no loose here. The only place that there really could be a loose left that we haven't seen, I think, other than possibly a couple of chests in Gurgu Volcano, but I think that Lord of the Synth checked them all, is drumroll Titan's Cove.
Yeah, exactly. And looks like Speed Gaming is raiding with a party of 171. So welcome to you who are coming from Speed Gaming. I am Devious RNG. I'm sitting here with Aaron 2U2, and we are on match 2 of a double header here on Final Fantasy Randomizer's Twitch channel. PlebusMaximus32 versus Lord of the Synth. Both 0-2 coming from the Kaizoku pod. Last match, Plebus raced Goat's Pirate. And if you want to catch that VOD, just hang around until after this stream is over, and you'll be able to take a look at the first of our doubleheader. It is a fantastic race. I mean, really one of the best races I have seen of two runners making very similar decisions, literally coming down to Topher. Highly recommend, but what we have right now, Plebus Maximus has 2 orbs lit, Lord of the Synth has only 1 orb lit at the moment. we do have quite a bit of gear. We have Plebus has a Massa, has all of the armor in the world, deciding to go with a 3-man party, deciding to Dan that ninja very early on in the game, and Lord of the Synth going with the full 4-man party, and has been trying to just push through and pick up everything as he goes. As we see Plebus here in Sky Palace, floor 3, and Lord of the Synth looks like he is heading on his way to probably the same place, but we'll see once he lands here.
Right, and what we saw out of Sky was the rod, which means that our last loose item is the Roost Staff. So, and we do see that Lord of the Synth chose to persist in leaving the Hairy Dwarfs live going. So, I think, read into that what you will. Pleb is still checking. Again, we're not 100% sure what he's looking for at this point. If he's missing, is he missing any armor? He's got the dragon armor.
I mean, he has dragon armor. He doesn't have the Aegis shield, though Lord of the Synth did pick that up because that was in Upper Marsh. He only has 1 ribbon, but he has his Massa. He has 1 ribbon. I don't think. Man, what else would he want? Do we have Wall? I don't remember if we saw Wall earlier to pick up with that red mage. That's the only thing I can think of that we'd want to grab real quick. But right now he's just picking up levels through that Sky Palace.
Right, and I haven't seen Wall either. I don't think we have it. I don't think I've seen it for Lord of the Synth, so it's probably a 7 or 8. I think we've seen all the level 7 magic, so I think it must be level 8. So great, good place for it to be. Someone that probably won't be able to get.
Yeah. Well, we do have PlebusMaximus now here on the Bridge of Destiny, which houses our very own Warmech. So if you're hoping to look for a Warmech, spam your robots in chat and cross your fingers, because if you want to see a robot chicken, this is the place that you're going to have to look to find it. As PlebusMaximus takes down these metal slimes here with Harm 2, a hope and a dream. But that Massa doing Massa work and getting us up to level 25.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid level to be on right now, too. I mean, we saw... Oh, that's right. Warmech is required.
What is that green thing doing at the end of the... I don't remember that from the vanilla game. Well, that's because that's Warmech, man. You gotta talk to the green man to get to Tia, and this is going to launch our required Warmech flag.
I completely forgotten about that one.
I started talking about Warmech being required. Oof, and Warmech just quad Xing that black mage. Just nope, gone. But 31,000 experience points for the other 2 party members with that Life 2 cast. And Rube's 000 pointing out in chat that pulls the Quad X out of the spell pool for the final bosses. The 4 final fiends in the Temple of Fiends Revisited and Chaos share a spell and skill pool with Warmech. So whatever Warmech has, those final bosses don't. So it's always nice to see something particularly ugly on a Warmech, which means you're not going to see it in the final end boss.
Absolutely. And that is something else we haven't checked, by the way, for that last loose item, are the key checks. I had forgotten to mention that. So Titan's Cove is probably not going to be it. But Pleb is getting rid of Tiamat, going through, and now he has the rod that he should be able to just completely obliterate Earth Cave, assuming that we don't have too much crazy enemies there.
And again, Plebus is in go mode. He doesn't really... I mean, I guess you could say that he wants that Roost Staff, which is the final loose item. He could want the Saber Bonk, but all he needs to do is get the bottle and turn that in, which that's a known thing. We know that the bottle is in the Gaia shop. We know that it's going to lead to Ruse or Saber. And really, again, what is Plebus looking for with opening all the boxes he's been opening?
So the one thing that I would say about the need for the Ruse staff right now is the fact that he has a fighter as his damage dealer probably reduces that slightly. Lord of the Synth on the other side picks up yet another katana, so he has 2 katanas and no thieves.
Yeah, Pleb is still checking a lot of these optional boxes. The only thing I can think of is that he's looking for a ribbon. That's really it.
And I'm thinking it's time for him to hit Waterfall now, which we know has the herb, which leads to the loot. So that's and it also has something probably more useful, the Mass Moon.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get the seed bleed now. I can't remember. What did it roll? Did it roll like +2 or 3?
It was positive. I can't remember myself. I'm sure someone in chat remembers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Classic Gamer pointing out, we do have, if you look at the middle of your screen there, if you haven't been tracking us with Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament 2022, with our tournament flags, we have Blursings, which stands for blessings and curses. And so at the middle of the screen there, you see 2 blessings for each of our parties, which are stat boosts for each of our classes. And at the bottom, you see our malices, which are nerfs to each of our classes. So, as Classic Gamer pointed out and Rubes pointed out in chat, that the Black Mage has 20 strength and can wield a katana. So that Black Mage, which usually doesn't do anything with melee damage, can wield one of the most powerful weapons in the game with an extra strength boost.
So I stand corrected. The Ruse staff was behind the rod. So what could the other Ruse was the canal? I forgot about the canal.
Yep.
Well, I guess maritime trading is going to be damaged, but that's about it.
Yeah, and there's nothing like opening a box that contains a void that sucks up a landmass to open a canal at some random other part of the world. Gotta love the Final Fantasy universe, because somehow that makes sense.
Well, at least we do not have random bridge in these flags. That could also be fun.
True. Very true. So here we go. Pleb picking up his Masamune +3 and his herb from the robot. Again, herb is going to lead to the loot. Lord of the Synth getting a couple of these extra Gasties to pull some experience. And Pleb working his way down. I think he's pretty much at Lich now. So he'll be lighting his 4th orb and getting into Topher probably in the next minute and a half.
Yeah, he has everything he needs. Again, the bottle, the Saber Gauntlet, but probably not going to worry about it. Seems like it would be a little bit extra, so we should see him going hard here in just a moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'd say... Okay, do you need the Saber Gauntlet? I think...
no.
Yeah.
Not at these levels. If you're going in really low, the Saber Gauntlet's super helpful because of the hit bonus %. I think that you can get squeeze out an extra hit, but I don't know what all the fighter things are and all that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he's fine.
Yeah. So the weird thing about the Masamune is that it already has the maximum hit % in the game. So the fact that it's a +3 on hit doesn't actually do anything. So you're still going to have your breakpoint for your 5th hit at level 24, unless you have like a blur that gets you some extra hit percent. So I don't exactly remember what levels Plebus has at this point, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's already at level 23, 24 to get that extra hit.
He's at 28, I think, for his leader, so he's fine. I think if he were looking for another hit, because I think that's still possible, that would be probably 34, so he's probably not getting there.
Yeah. I mean, it's, I think it's a little bit slower than the black belt, because I want to say it's like 14 levels, maybe, for the fighter to get their next breakpoint, as opposed to the black belt, which has about 10 levels. So I want to say it's somewhere around like 39, 38.
Yeah, I imagine the hit rate would probably go lower just because of the dynamics of the class. But I was thinking it was just a little lower than the Thief. The Thief has the +4 per level with these with the randomizer, so it's kind of intense for them.
Actually, you know what? I stand corrected. I think it's I think the fighter and the black belt have the same, don't they? And then the Thief has the +3. And the red mage is +2. Yeah, I think I got that wrong. So it would be somewhere around 35, 33 or 35.
Awesome. We didn't even need chat to correct us this time.
To say, like, we've been on air for 3 hours and 15 minutes, so I probably wouldn't trust anything that I'm saying right now, so don't quote me on that. Though I'll quote Woat, because when you quote Woat, you get the Woat quote, and you quote Woat, you're the GOAT. There, I did it.
And that was a scary fight right there that Plebus got out of. The Gurmedusas have crack, and even though he's got, I think he's at least got a ribbon on the red mage, but he's finding them at every single encounter. But good. He didn't quite heal up though, so hopefully Lich behaves, and this is just your normal speed bump fight. But he missed the black mage.
Oh man, it's funny because like, everyone's like, oh, it's just Lich 2, there's, Lich 2 is the speed bump, so on and so forth. Yeah, well, Vanilla Lich 2 has Nuke as his first spell. So, sometimes when you wish for vanilla things, you want all of the vanilla things except for Vanilla Lich.
Yeah, all Lich does is cast really annoying, frustrating spells, and is it Nuke and Zap? He has 2 charges of both?
I don't remember. It's one of the things. If you're curious, we do have a vanilla-ish flag set, which is essentially the vanilla game, but adds in the quality of life changes. So if you're into the vanilla game and want to just make it go faster, highly recommend the vanilla-ish flag set.
All right, well, Carrie is up now. We'll see if Carrie proves to have any sort of challenge. There's Nuke. That is a challenge, but he's got a ton of hit points on the characters. As long as he can heal up here, should be fine.
Well, and the Massa doing Massa things, especially with that 5th hit, not really going to be a big concern. Though, you do have to be careful of the exit boss. The exit boss is real, and yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well, at least there is a confirmation on that one.
Yeah.
That it might not immediately happen. He hasn't healed the red mage. That's kind of scary, because that's all of his life cast right there.
Yeah, and only has 60 hit points. Yeah, lots of healing.
I think he might be very concerned about his heal pots, because he doesn't have a ton of them, and maybe he is just going to sacrifice the red mage and solo the fighter the rest of the way out. He did say during the last seed in the interview that he is well used to doing solo fighter strats at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, solo fighter strats when you have to, not when you want, like that. And I don't know if the fast went out. 5 hits, so it doesn't look like it.
No, but oh, you know what? I forgot. Did he pick up life on the fighter or not? Because the actual knight might have it.
I don't think so. Though I have Seed Bleed, so I don't remember if it's knight learnable or not.
So we do have dual Kraken fights right now, but they are not the same Kraken. Totally different Kraken. Yeah, there it was. I think he just wanted him to die to preserve having to cast some of the spells.
Okay.
So I'm not even bringing back the ninja this time. Just kind of every single person he fights is using a top tier spell or ability in the first round, slaughtering it. So it's kind of pointless.
Yeah. No, I can stand behind that decision of
Never mind.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's smart, though, because he knows that the ninja is going to go down, and it's just a matter of time. So, like, waiting until you're a step in front of the boss before rezzing it essentially saves you a life cast. So, I think that's a smart play on his part. And now that we know that he has life, it's good that he can basically just heal and not worry about anybody except for that knight.
Yeah, and he's going a little bit more defensively. Tiamat is hitting extraordinarily hard. He does have a very solid amount of gear on that knight, but yeah, I totally get that. And I think he got the fast off, and he only got 3 hits. They must have a lot of evade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That Black Wizard got hit very, very early on. So, but either way, I think Tia definitely had some hefty evade there. Using all of those Life 2 charges. So I think he's also been using a lot of his Cure 4s, though. So this is gonna be a tough one. Hopefully he remembers that he has a Cure 2 item, or I think he has that Cure 2 item, and fully healing up with heal pots, making some good adjustments here, trying to prep for this chaos fight.
Yeah, it looks like just about everything is in place right now already, and here we go. Immediately throwing out the nuke. It looks like he's just gonna throw out every sort of damage stuff he has. I guess the ninja had 1 nuke. How about that? He actually went and got it too. Doing just 38 damage. The Ice 3 is almost not worth the time. Let's see. Does he have any nukes on the Red Wizard?
Maybe. Chaos just cast fast on himself. So absolutely wanting to get those ruse casts out. The stun not landing this time. Really doing no damage with the Thief. I think that the Red Wizard had a nuke, but it was also in the same slot as Cure 4. So I think he might be saving that last Cure 4 spell.
That makes sense. And Chaos making a mistake of not going after the wizard there. The Black Wizard just keeps throwing out nukes. I mean, if there was anything you could do to reduce the damage you're taking, that would be it. So next time, Chaos, do better. There goes the Red Wizard, down in 1 hit. Not surprising. Chaos has been hitting pretty hard.
Yeah, well, Pleb is still looking good. That's another 6 hits, so he's probably around close to 2,000 hit points at the moment. There's the nuclear and getting flashbacks of bad things. Pleb has gotten to this chaos fight first in both of his last races, but this is the first time that Pleb has gotten his terminated first. Let's throw some GGs into chat for Pleb. Very, very well run by him. I know he very much wanted this. Been playing very well. And definitely congrats to him on this one.
Absolutely. The Mass Moon worked out great there. I think he got really worried when he saw the 5 hits, 90 damage in the round right before The last one where he got that crit just cleared out. And as we see, Lord of the Synth has forfeited, and I believe we have both of them here with us in comms now. GG's, fellas.
GG.
GG.
Hey, Plebus, congratulations on getting to Chaos first and terminating him first.
This time.
This time. Yeah, I was saying at the end that two in a row dying on Chaos when you see the dot done. So it was good to see you to pull one out of here for you.
Yeah, that was a pretty jetty seed.
So go ahead and give us some thoughts on that. Pleb, we'll start with you. Lord of the Synth, we'll give you a chance to share after as well. Just some initial thoughts about how the seed went.
Honestly, when I saw Floater, I knew that Canoe was gonna come out of. I thought Canoe was gonna come out of Marsh, but I got Crystal. I'm like, oh, that's Canoe. I didn't bother checking Ice because I didn't need to. I think I really thought that I was gonna go really fast when I picked up that Mazza in the waterfall. With all those dragon fights, I was killing them with a Silver Sword +4 at level 14 or 15 or something like that. I was like, oh, XP, and they just kept coming, so I was like, okay. I just was worried about being the right level for Warmech. That was about it.
Mm-hmm. Lord of the Synth, how you feeling after that one?
I'm done playing randomizers. Because I am sick of turning in decent times in practice and then going into an actual race, and every decision I make turns out to be the wrong one. I stayed away from the sea area because I didn't have the levels at the time, and oops, Massa +3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet on Ordeals, that turned out to be nothing. I bet on Ice, that turned out to be absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I checked 50 billion frickin' jests.
Mm-hmm.
I checked. I think I cleared Volcano, and when I saw Loose Ruby,
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself, I'm like, God, I hope Key or Loot isn't loose. I really hope they're not loose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hadn't quite gotten to the sky spot when you finished, and obviously I snapped forfeit. I was really sweating not having turned up a loose item in 4 dungeons.
Yeah, I was sweaty going into Chaos because I was like, oh crap, we're probably neck and neck the whole way. So
nope, every decision I made bit me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. It's one of the blessing and curses of randos. Of even as you said, you practice so many of them that making certain decisions turn out to be exactly what needs to happen, and then you get to a tournament race and you could have run 500 seeds, but you see something new that just throws something off, and it changes the entire game on you.
Yeah.
When I saw the Lightning 3 pop up early, I was like, and the Oxyhail, I'm like, I have to go to Sea Shrine and see if anything dies to 1 or 2 charges.
I was very happy with the way the early magic fell out. I mean, Nuke and Fade both at level 5. That's kind of not great, but it's not bad either.
No, I didn't like Cure 4 and Nuke being on the same slot. I really didn't like that, but I
didn't actually care about that. Not with Life 2 at a low level. And I had early promotion. Okay, Ordeals wasn't a complete bust because I did farm up the tail and get the promotion. But
yeah,
in terms of finding the loose items, yeah, it's everything was wrong.
Well, that brings up one other thing, which is party selection. Synth, you chose to go with the White Mage, and Pleb, you decided to go with the Thief. So we'll go to Lord of the Synth first. What's your reasoning for the White Mage on this one?
I usually turn up a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in general, I default to Fighter Rainbow unless I have a reason not to, like some just god-awful malice. And I mean, no bracelets kind of sucks, but I mean, more often than not, you turn up a shirt that the white mage or the white wizard can wear.
Yeah, and you got the harm 3+3 in ordeals there.
So kind of maximize the mystical firepower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand going white mage with the harm changes, but I took a thief and he got knocked on the floor, so I just left him there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked him up after what was it, Sea Shrine, and he got knocked down in a overworld fight, so I just left him down. I'm like, oh no, game doesn't want me to use him. He can just stay dead. So I pretty much 3-man for like level 4.
Yeah. And that's the other thing with the random mages. Like if the magic misses on one of the mages, I just let him take a dirt nap and maybe bring him back later on to the immune shield.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen this time.
Yeah, well, I will say that Plebus didn't find either of the Katana +3s that you found. So, and ironically, Plebus found the X-Cal for your white mage. So,
Nice.
it was kind of interesting that you both found what the other person could have used for a weapon.
Man, that Katana +3, if I'd have seen that early, I'd have downed the fighter and left the thief up.
There's one in, like, I think Volcano, maybe, or...
So, yeah, Plebus, you skipped one of the Volcano rooms on the Agama floor, and
yeah,
that room had the Katana +3.
Oh, that makes me sad.
And then there was another one that you picked up. I think it might have been the 6 chests in ice or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I didn't even go to ice.
I'm really salty about ice. Like if I sound unhappy, it's specifically because of that absolute time wasting ice back.
The canal was on ice, right?
I don't think so. I don't have the canal marked off. I don't think I found it.
Yeah, what ends up being is that our 2 loose items were the ruby and the canal. So if you think about your strategies for that.
Yeah, I'd given up on finding the other loose item. I'm like, it's just too late. I have loose, and it's time to crunch.
Bottle was in ice.
Yeah, that might be right.
Oh, then I would have had bonk. I didn't even have bonk or temper. That Mazda +3 carried so hard.
Yeah, I dug up the bonk, and yeah, I mean, the fighter with the bonk and the Mazda +3 was beating the crap out of things. Except Kraken seemed to be high absorb. Kraken won.
Yeah, I think the only places you guys didn't really check were the key locks. So now was probably there.
Yeah.
You know what? That's what it was.
It wasn't in Dwarf Cave because I checked that, and it wasn't at Northwest Castle because I checked those 3s because I was looking for a grind tile.
Yeah, I think that's where the other katana was in the dwarf lock. But
I think the best grind spot, I considered it, is when I went into a waterfall and got 3 ice dragon fights off reset in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, gas dragons in a row. I was like, ooh, this is really good. And they only had like 196 HP, something like that.
They rolled really low. I took out 3 or 4 myself.
So, that closes up our pod, guys. the Kaizoku pod is officially closed with these 2 races tonight. GG's on getting through pods, and we kind of have to see what the rest of the tournament, how it plays out, to see about playing races and last chance qualifiers and so forth.
Do I even? Well, at 1 and 2, I should at least get a last chance qualifier.
You're at least guaranteed the last chance qualifier.
Yeah, the math is a little fishy in terms of exactly where we're at and where we'll end up. But if there is a last chance, there's a pin in the Discord. I'm not going to say anything.
I'll check a bit.
I'm not going to do that. Just look at the Discord. Fizzle posted something, and whatever that says. But I do want to give you guys the chance to give some final thoughts on not just this race, but also the tournament in general. And we'll start with Plebus first, just to get some final thoughts out.
I had a lot of fun despite my last two races. They were all pretty tight, but I don't particularly enjoy this flag set because I'm used to the older flag sets. It's been an adjustment for me. I'm still making adjustments on routing, but I'm happy to see the tournament big again this year. Really happy the community's coming out with running and there's new runners. So I think it's all in all going to be a fun tournament to watch and participate in.
Lord of the Synth?
I gave my final thought first.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Throw your PJ Salts in chat, please.
Aaron, my co-coms, do you have any questions or thoughts for these guys before we head out?
I think we covered the questions, and I feel like our runners are probably a little tired at this point anyway, but it was a good race. It was fun to watch, and gave me some food for thought as well, which I think is always the thing when you do certain things and you make other people think, maybe I should have done that, or maybe I wouldn't have done that. So it was a good learning experience from my end too. And congratulations on your victory, Plebus, and good luck with the potential plan.
Yeah, I'll say good luck in the plan.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, do you want to stop by? I'll be playing Fallout 4 till 7 in the morning. So I just got to reset the delay on my stream here.
Wow.
Okay, well maybe you're not tired then.
No, when in practice I normally run 5 or 6 seeds in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a bit crazy.
Endurance. So.
Eh.
Well, gentlemen, thank you, everybody, as well for Guardian Marcus, who's been taking notes and tracking for us for the last 3.5 hours here on this Final Fantasy doubleheader. Dark Moon EX restreaming our doubleheader and taking care of everything behind the scenes for us. Absolutely our runners, Lord of the Synth, PlebusMaximus32, and a big thank you to my co-coms, Aaron2U2, for hanging out and talking Final Fantasy for the last 3.5 hours. Thank you all watching, enjoying, and if you are interested, if you want to play, if you want to put your foot in the water and test this game out, at the end of this spring tournament, we're starting our next Duckling Boot Camp, which is the best of the best, training you on absolutely everything you need to know to get good at Final Fantasy Randomizer. So head over to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, join our Discord, and you'll see a lot of information come out about that in the next couple weeks.